Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about proportions and how different size relationships can really help your drawings make them more realistic looking. And it doesn't really matter what it is that you're drawing, whether that's something simple like this, or a person, or an animal, or a car, whatever. Something really challenging. If the proportions are off and the size relationships are off, it's not going to look right. So here's an example. So I have drawn Olaf off to the side and he looks kind of wonky. And a lot of that is because, all of it is because of his proportions. So he has all the right parts. I didn't skip anything, everything that, all his details are there. And everything is pretty much in the right spot, but they're not the right size relationship. So like, look at the different size of the eyes. The teeth are too wide. The top snowball is way too big. The arm's way too long. So all of these things are throwing him off so that he doesn't look realistic. He doesn't look like the real thing. So what we're going to be doing today is practicing getting proportions, figuring out proportions so that you guys can use it when you have something more challenging to draw. So in looking at Olaf, I have to figure out his proportions before I can draw them. So I noticed that his head and his body are about exactly the same length. So I'm going to make a start and a stop on my paper, a little bit bigger than the real thing, just to prove I'm not tracing it. And they're the same. Okay, so that tells me where my head and where my body are going to go. And I also noticed that his smile is about halfway down from his head. So I'm going to make myself a little halfway mark and write smile just to remind myself that if I'm not at the halfway mark when I add the smile, that I need to adjust that a little bit. Also notice that the top snowball is about a third of the bottom part of the body. So if I take it and go 1, 2, 3, do you see how that takes up about 1/3 of that space? So I can do the same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, and that tells me where my snowball needs to go. And I can look at a couple other things too, like for example, the arms are the same length and the arms are about the length of this bottom snowball and feet. So I can think about that later. And all of those things will help me later. So once I've gotten the proportions figured out, my next step is my shape blocking. And that's pretty easy to do because I already know where everything is going to go. So you definitely want to start with the main shapes like his head and his body before getting all those little details. So I'm going to start by blocking in his head. And it's okay if it's not perfect. I'm just going to get the basics in there. And there we go. Okay. And now I'm going to get that second snowball in there. And I need to make room for the feet. So I'm going to put that in there. And now I'm going to do the base snowball. Okay. And last, I'm going to put those feet in there. All right. And I can also check the width. So I noticed that the width of this bottom snowball is just a little bit bigger than the width of the face, and that's true. So I'm off to a good start. I also remember that smile. So now I can go ahead and add in some of the details, but I know that smile needs to be about halfway. So that's about here. So I'm going to go ahead and add his smile in there. And once I have that, I can add in his teeth. And let's see, I can go ahead and do the coal. And I know we talked about this, that the arm was about the same length as this. So that helps me figure out where my arm is going to end. Same thing here. So now I can sketch that arm out. Okay, and I've got the arms. Awesome. I think this looks a little too high. I'm going to slant this down. So it's good to start noticing things like that. If something looks a little bit off, give it a second glance and see if you're right. Most of the time you are. Okay. And add the carrot. It's so much easier to add all these details in now that I know where everything is and how big it is. It really helps me add in all of these other things. A lot of people make the mistake of starting with the small details, and then if the small details are off, that throws everything else off too. So you really don't want to start with that. Okay, so I could probably go back in and refine some things, but that's the right idea. So you're going to do this on your own in your sketchbook and take a picture of your practice, no tracing. And that's your first step. Your second step is I want you to find your own cartoon character. So you get to pick the cartoon character, but they do need to have different size relationships. So they should have different parts. So, for example, if your cartoon character is just a ball shape, that's probably not going to work very well because there's not different parts. But if they have different body parts that we can use for proportions, then we're on the right track. So I want you to find a picture of a cartoon character, and then you're going to do the same thing that we did with Olaf. Figure out the head to the body, figure out the body parts relationship, how do they relate to the other parts. Your goal is to make a sketch of it that's proportionate, just like we did with Olaf. Use your shape blocking and your proportion skills. So that both of those are going to be due Thursday at the end of the day. So if you need help, feel free to reach out, ask me questions. I'm going to try to set up a Google Meet for you guys this week as well, so you could also hop on that. Good luck.